That's just as bad as that video I showed you of the quote unquote homeless.
Quote unquote. Can I record it that you say quote unquote homeless man? You're such an Alex Jones. Look at these crisis homeless people. These fake homos.
Hey, you want to do Breaking Bad impressions?
Oh my god.
No, that was awful. Okay, I'm glad we got that on.
Do you want to eat? That's so horrible. Is that
just
worse?
with awful impersonations? These awful impersonations of.
It's not that this poor guy's homeless.
And he's not even. But he's not homeless. He's not homeless. He wasn't homeless at all. He was just some hipster going up in front of a goddamn Maserati lot.
If you think about it, how homeless can you be if you know how to do a shitty accent of TV characters on a network TV show?
Well, how are you homeless if you have a Netflix subscription? Well, that makes sense with the prices they have. Honestly, for the subscriptions each month, it's obscene.
I know, they make you homeless.
It's disgusting. They make you homeless.
Can't believe I'm still paying it.
I know, yeah. I mean, I've been having to watch some of the shit they have. Rewatching shows that I've watched.
Yeah.
Avatar: Last Airbender, a show I love, but I have to watch it because I'm paying for fucking Netflix. And this guy on the street, I mean, it's old video, but he was on the street pretending to be homeless. And he was like, hey, you guys know that Breaking Bad?
Oh, my God.
All right, here we are, bitch.
Here I are, bitch. Mr. White, bitch.
Now feed me.
Oh, yeah, I like his Heisenberg impression.
Yeah, it's just talking in a more baritone.
Jesse.
Oh.
It would have been funny if he did, like, Good Morning, USA. Like,
yeah. Maybe he'd be
he's like, what fucking, how do you do Peter?
Who, Peter?
Peter from Family Guy.
Oh,
there you go. I just know how to do those. Peter, your cock is too small.
Yeah, but your gut is big, Peter. That sounds like that chick from Bob's Burgers.
Oh my god, yeah.
What's her name? Lynn. Lynn is her name, right? Yeah.
Bobby. Yeah, Bobby.
It's not that's not the comic book talk I wanted, but it's a good way to introduce the show. Brian, welcome, Brian, to our fourth issue of We Tolerate Comics. Brian, how are you doing?
What up?
We tolerate. We're very tolerant. When it comes to comics,
don't make me laugh.
When it comes to comics, those are the only things you are tolerant of, Brian. Yeah. You're not tolerant of anyone else's culture, religious views,
I won't say
political views, or anything. But when it comes to comic books, and maybe that's a stretch, you're more tolerant of that. Brian, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing well, Julius. Today,
I'm doing well. I am Brian, and I am doing well.
I'm doing very well, folks. No, I'm doing good. I actually made some homemade hot sauce today, which we are trying, and Julius approves of.
I do approve it.
We're drinking water. It is a very hot day today. What is it, 89 or 93?
It is 100 degrees.
Oh, it's 100.
You wouldn't believe
Barely it. Felt it, to be honest.
The thing is, when it comes to your hot sauce, since this is a comic book show, we have to associate it with that. So when it came to names, you could go with Brian's Ghost Riders.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Those, even though you'd get sued.
Yeah.
You could go with
Brian's Flame On.
Yeah, Flame On with Brian. Flamin' On.
Flamin' On.
Yeah. Flamin' on my mouth.
Flamin' on my mouth.
What else? You could go with
the red sauce.
The red sauce, yeah.
Like put in italics down below Hulk. And tiny.
Just Hulk in parentheses. Tiny font. What else? Hot sauce for Hellboy.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Fit for the PRD. Their parties, their office parties, right? Yeah. Hellboy would bring these from the pits of hell. The hot sauce.
And that's just his piss. He would piss in a cup and be like, "Hey guys, you want to try this out?"
The way to sell this actually is to get Ron Perlman in as an investor.
Dude, that'd be really sick.
Yeah, and be like, "This is the hot sauce I'm repping."
Recently I got this trailer from Ryan Reynolds because I guess he owns everything now.
Yeah, he's big in investing.
Really big investor.
I want to see him on Shark Tank.
Oh my God.
That would be awesome.
That'd be amazing.
They had Ashton Kutcher of all people.
I want to see him on Kitchen Nightmares fighting Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, but Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool.
And so
Green
I
Lantern.
saw, what's his name? The guy from Jackass.
Johnny Knoxville.
No, not Johnny Knox.
Bam. What's his name? What's his last name? The guy who's like banned from Jackass.
No, not him. The other guy who's like always wild and like he put a fish hook through his mouth and then they like.
Steve-O?
Steve-O, yeah.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
yeah, it was a Steve-O and he was eating hot chili, and I want him to do that, but like put my chili in his eyes or something, you know.
You know, he would probably be down for that, Steve-O. I mean, actually, you know, we have Steve-O as a guest host.
I thought you were saying
actually.
he's here.
No, he's here.
Oh,
he's here. Hey, Steve.
he's Sora.
Hey, Steve-O, get in here.
Is he your messing partner and your?
No, Brian, I'm trying to get you a deal right now, all right? Steve-O, get in here. Yeah.
You kind of sounded like him, like he was dying in the corner. Yeah.
See, thing is, man, I tried some of your hot sauce, man. It's fucking bullshit, man. Yeah. All right, Steve-O, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah, fucking leave.
Leave, Steve-O. God damn. Steve-O, as an investor on Shark Tank, $1 billion deal.
Ideal. Yeah, it's just an ideal.
Okay, let's move on to the comics. Move away from
Ideology.
the sharks, the jackasses.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some comic book shit, Brian.
Cool. Let's talk about the real sauce.
The real shit, the important stuff, right? So, Brian, you're not the biggest comic fan I know.
I've read some, but not. Yeah,
You've read
compared to you. I'm not like I don't
Yeah.
have, like a billion.
Yeah, no, or the people I've had on this program, on We Tolerate Comics. But you know your fair share,
I
and
know.
you've actually helped me with a lot of podcasts in the past regarding, you know, a lot of films and stuff. You know, the Suicide Squad podcast we did was a fun one.
I remember that one.
Yeah, that's a fun one. It's an underrated one.
It's an underrated classic.
It's one that people should listen to.
Yeah. With Angel being the most like educated from us, and
Oh, you're talking about Justice League.
oh yeah,
Justice League.
Yeah, Justice. Yeah,
Justice. That was a fun one as well.
That was also a fun one.
But we've talked plenty about comic books. You're very opinionated about plenty of stuff, and I always enjoy talking to you about
Me too, same
anything,
here. Yeah.
even though you're wrong most of the time. But I just want to know your background in terms of comic books or cartoons. Like, what is it that attracts you the most in this field?
So besides from growing up. Being a loner.
Right.
Comic books, specifically, I actually was never really into comic books or really into the Marvel and superhero stuff when I was growing up. I was more into something called Warhammer 40K. It's more like a turn-based RPG board game. And there was a store in Altadena, this mall, where you would kind of buy these pieces and then paint them. And with these pieces that they gave you, it was like a little metal kit. They would give you a comic book with them that you would read, understand a little bit more about the lore, and understand the universe of the games and where they fit in. And I think that kind of stuck with me to the point where instead of being into comic books, I was more or less into source material about video games.
Yeah.
So I read a bunch of comic books about Halo, a bunch on... like I think it was like on Call of Duty. I remember there was like a short time there was Call of Duty comics. Yeah,
that makes sense.
It was specifically I think about Modern Warfare, and then everything on like Aliens and Predators to the point where I then got introduced to a really funny one, which was Archie versus the Predator.
Oh yeah,
and that was a really interesting series.
Archie's crossed over with everybody.
Oh yeah,
him, the Predator, the Punisher. The Josie and the Pussycats, Sabrina and everything. Yeah, that's great.
But after reading that at one of my local comic book stores where I actually went there to get, I think I was getting, I actually still have this figurine. It was for the original El Diablo Predator. figurine and stuff like that, like from the first film. So I saw that in my comic book store they were selling it, so I decided to buy that. And it's like, oh, if you like Predator, read this, and it was Archie and the Predator, and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it's surprising how like violent they get because they keep. I haven't read that one. I've read some other Archie because Archie's gone all over the place.
You can just imagine a 10-year-old reading this for his first time, thinking, "Oh my God, Archie, what have you done?"
It's the same like classic art style, right? They just bring in the Predator.
Yeah, and just gore.
And it gets violent, and it's like there's a really good one, for the Halloween season that everyone should read if you're into comics, especially Archie, which is more like comic strip.
Yeah.
But this is a graphic novel called Afterlife Archie, or Archie Afterlife with Archie, Archie Afterlife. It's a zombie book, and it's not the same art style that we know Archie to be. Yeah. It's more stylized.
Riverdale.
This actually, I could see this art style and this take on Archie and Riverdale being the basis for that show.
Interesting.
Because it's dark and
do something.
Wait,
shitty.
What? No, well, yeah, I haven't actually seen any of Riverdale, but
you shouldn't. Save your time.
This book is actually really cool. It's a horror comic.
Okay, nice.
Very Robert Kirkman, very Romero when it comes to zombies.
Is it like Cross?
Is it like Cross? No, it's more. Imagine Night of the Living Dead. But it's Archie, and it's really sad also because they take these iconic, cartoony, kids figures from our childhoods, everyone's childhood, because Archie's been around forever.
Yeah, Archie's pretty old.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't that 60s or 70s?
I think it might be the 60s because my mom was reading Archie.
Oh, wow.
My mom was reading Archie when she was young, so it might be the 60s. Someone can fact check this, but
I say
yeah,
write down the comment. Destroy Julius.
The fact of the matter is, Archie was published.
The fact of the matter is, Julius, you don't know Archie lore.
You think that systemic racism is the reason you don't understand when Archie was published originally.
I swear.
And that's not true. But yeah, Archie books are really fun.
Yeah, they are. They're very entertaining, no matter the source of material or the people that they're bringing on. I think I saw one, and someone also fact checked me on this. I remember at the same store they had an Archie versus Hellraisers, and I just saw the cover and it looked really interesting. With who was it?
Pinhead.
Yeah. Pinhead had his entire chest ripped apart. He had like some BDM-esque gear on his face.
Is he drawn the same way as Archie?
Drawn in the same
Archie style
way. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez, they need to do. You could do anything at that point with
really
Archie.
Can, yeah.
Archie and the Ninja Turtles, Archie and Ash from Evil Dead.
There's an Archie versus Batman.
Is there?
Yeah.
I never saw that one.
I know.
It makes
Batman
sense.
versus the Predator.
Oh yeah,
which is insane.
There are a couple of those. There's Batman versus Predator. There's Batman and Superman versus Alien and Predator. There's Alien versus Predator. Obviously, there's Predator or Terminator versus Terminator versus RoboCop, written by the great and also awful Frank Miller. Sorry, actually, but that they've had all sorts of crossovers in the past, and do the crossovers get you? Are they your thing if you're going to read a comic book?
I think so. Mm-hmm. Like when I first read Aliens vs. Predators, because I was doing a marathon in preparation for Prey, and I was kind of hoping that there would be a little bit of reference. I mean, if you haven't seen Prey yet,
I've seen it. We can talk a little bit about Prey later because
I'll save it for that.
I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about that.
But in preparation for Prey, I was watching a lot of source material. So I was watching the first AVP and the second AVP, Requiem, which I love Requiem, but there's like a big problem with
the lore,
the lighting.
Oh, the lighting
is so awful. Like the movie is good. The gore is amazing, but it's so dark to the point where you can't see anything. And I think that's the one problem with this film. And if they just enhance the lighting, maybe write the characters a little bit better, then the film would be good.
I've not seen Requiem. I've seen the first 10 minutes of Alien vs. Predator, which was a mistake because I was trying to watch it after Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
Two of the greatest science fiction films ever.
Yeah.
And then I tried to watch. I was just like, what the fuck?
Well,
is
I have
this?
a digital copy of AVR. AVPR.
Well, it's on Hulu also.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
Okay.
All those films are on Hulu.
Oh, really?
The Alien
with
films.
For Prey?
Yeah, because Disney owns them now.
Because
of
for real?
because of when they got 20th Century Fox. They got the rights to they got the rights to Predator,
well, I know
Alien.
I was rewatching AVP and Predators 2 and Predators 1 on Hulu, and then I just had the digital copy at my home, so I was just like, I'll just put that on my Xbox, so I watched it that way.
You watched
AVPR, yeah.
But did you also watch? You watched the original Predator?
Oh yeah, I watched
Schwarzenegger.
I did it in chronological order. So I did. I didn't do the Aliens films because I couldn't find any. The only one I did watch was Aliens.
There's Alien also.
Oh, there's Alien on Hulu too.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Alien, Aliens. There are the other films. There's Prometheus. I've not seen Alien Covenant.
Alien Covenant was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like it a little bit better than Prometheus. I'll say that much. I think it's like
I've not seen
original.
I've not seen Alien Covenant. Prometheus is fun, but it gets dumb.
Yeah, it gets
kind of dumb at some points, but we can talk about that a bit later.
But Covenant's pretty good.
Covenant's cool.
There's like maybe one part where you're kind of like, oh, there's just like refurbish, which is fine because I know it's like a prequel to everything and trying to explain. Like
Covenant is a sequel to Prometheus.
Well, a prequel to like Alien. And
right?
Aliens,
yeah. Ridley Scott wanted to do a trilogy of prequels, I guess, that would lead into what we know with the original Alien. And I'm looking forward to Covenant. I'm willing to give it a shot. I've seen some clips from it, and I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of disturbing. Some of the elements in there. So yeah, I'm excited to see that. Yeah. But when it comes to those comics, there's you brought up Alien vs. Predator, the comics.
Great comic, honestly.
Better than the films?
Oh yeah, way better than the films. I mean, it's hard because like I think that's the one thing that's hard for me to like read comic books is that, and why I prefer film media more over like reading material is
you can't read. You don't know how to read.
I don't, but I also kind of try. But it's kind of like the visualization. I know that most people are like, oh, you're just dumb because you can't visualize like
in what? In
like
comic
when you
books?
read something like a book or like when you read a comic, it's kind of like for me, it's hard for me to like visualize like how the scenes are operating or like what's the fulfillment of like how the scene is supposed to look like overall, or like how you like would perceive something in your mind, like, oh, this is what I'm perceiving in my mind, or this is how it looks.
Right.
So when I watch it, I can at least see like, oh, okay, well, I guess that is what equivalated in my mind. Now I'll have to do the process of thinking.
Yeah, you prefer a more tangible,
a more
setting,
visual stimulus,
a 3D setting, if you will. You know, instead, because even though I love comic books, they're
like
two-dimensional.
Bones is amazing. But
Bone?
Yeah,
I remember reading Bone when I was growing up.
Dude, that was like the best. All the kids at like the elementary school would like get their parents' money just to buy that book at the school fair.
Exactly, at the book fairs. There's always going to be Bone. All these books and toys and stuff,
and the chocolate calculator,
and the chocolate. I've never heard of that, but that's
really
cool. Chocolate calculator.
Yeah, it was a Hershey's bar chocolate calculator, and it was a calculator that smelled like Hershey's chocolate.
That's evil. That is evil of Hershey's. That is literally okay. So, quick sidebar. Okay. And that's legal. That's legal
terminology.
Chocolate bar.
Chocolate bar.
This is
I'm
legal terminology for you. Sidebar. Willy Wonka is an evil man, okay? And the closest thing we have to Willy Wonka and the Wonka factory is Hershey's, okay? Hershey's is now evil. Now hearing that shit, trying to seep that into our schools. I mean, it's already crazy seeing like vending machines with soda and candy and all this sugary crap in schools. To hear a tool of education and understanding the workings of not even just our world, the universe. We're gonna seep chocolate in that shit. Yeah. While you're figuring out how our physical 4D or 3D to 4D realm works, you're going to think about our product bitch. Like, honestly, that is evil.
Chocolate.
And Hershey's is already kind of nasty as a chocolate.
I don't know why people like Hershey's.
I don't like. It's too milky.
It's too milky. Yeah.
It makes me feel sick.
All right, here. I'm a big advocator, and don't take this the wrong way. People who like white chocolate can die. White chocolate is disgusting. If you like unironically, if you like white chocolate, you're a child. You know, like your tastes are underdeveloped. You don't know what's good. Be quiet, sitting in the corner. Dark chocolate is the best chocolate.
You know, I feel the same way regarding you when it comes to some
everything.
Well, specifically one of our upcoming topics that we're not going to get into right now, but it has to do with Star Wars.
Oh my! I swear.
That's how I feel about you.
I feel like you were going to talk about Star Wars,
but we'll talk about that later. So it was a lot of Archie growing up for you. I know you watched a lot of the cartoons of superheroes growing up. Like, I know your favorite probably, Batman: Brave and the Bold.
Oh yeah,
is that your favorite? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would think either Young Justice. Yeah, actually, you're right. Yeah,
Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yeah,
it's a show, comic book show starring Batman that had a really nice sense of humor to it. Heavy meta quality to it.
Yeah,
because it was referencing a lot of what was going on in the golden age of Batman. Yep. I mean, he's like the barrel chest, square jawed. Fighter for justice, right? The crusader of justice, as it were. You know, like he is literally
Batman at this universe is basically, don't worry, sir, I'll have your daughter home by 9 o'clock.
Literally, he's like, I am here to fight for the forces of truth and justice.
He's if Gordon was Batman,
which they did in recent comics. They made Gordon Batman, and it was odd. They gave him a mech suit. They gave him a mech suit. Like, they're trying to do kind of a RoboCop thing with him.
Were they trying to do like I forget? There's that one Batman character with the young guy who was the son of Batman's...
of Lucius Fox.
Yeah.
I think his name is Lucas Fox, but he's Batwing.
Gotcha.
That is not. No, it's a different thing.
But like, he has a mechanical.
He has a mechanical. It's
kind of like the same.
Batwing is more kind of Iron Man. Whereas this is literally like
Iron Buster.
I guess a Hulk Buster would be an appropriate analogy.
Iron Buster, look at me. I don't know anything.
Iron Buster.
Iron Bust.
Igor. But Batman Brave and the Bold, really, really cool cartoon.
Really good. Yeah.
Really nice animation.
It showed me one of my favorite villains of all time growing up.
Who's that?
Animal, mineral, vegetable man.
Son of a bitch! I thought we left. See, we're supposedly in a new wave, a new renaissance of podcasts on this channel, and I'm
bringing it back, baby.
I thought
I'm bringing it back.
It behind. Animal, mineral, vegetable man.
He will kill everyone. He is the planet destroyer.
What's his name?
Animal, mineral, vegetable man.
Kills the Marvel universe, or kills the DC universe. Actually, they should do that as a comic book. That would be brilliant. I
would love to see him on Suicide Squad.
The next film, the Suicide Squad. 2 or 3?
2 or maybe
Well, I would technically be 3, right?
3, but we don't.
They just call it the Suicide Squad, or you know the good name, the next Suicide Squad, because the last team died.
It could be the next Suicide Squad,
or the new Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it's just like the good, the bad, and the man, mineral vegetable.
Yeah. So, but that was a cool cartoon, and you know the voice of that Batman. I think his name is Diedrich Baker, is the voice for Batman and Harley Quinn, the new the rated R show.
The rated R show,
Which is great, man. It's great. So that's pretty much the sum up of your familiarity.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, but also like a lot of the movies that came out.
Of course,
right? Like what are some of your favorite comic book films?
Oh, definitely the Suicide Squad, both of the Hell to Pay and then the first one. I'm trying to figure out what other. I don't know if you remember this, but with Young Avengers, they released a theatrical movie, or a straight-to-DVD movie.
Oh, what was it? Next Avengers.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you say that, because yesterday I did a podcast with my friend Daniel, Ignore This Podcast, Chapter 7, the show no one asked for, and we talk about that. We talk about the Next Avengers.
Nice. I love the Next Avengers.
It's a cool one.
It's a really good movie.
A good little short
Good
little film.
Short, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, you are actually you were probably the perfect age for when that came out.
Probably,
you know, because it came out.
Quiet. You're like how older than me? Like
I'm quite a bit older than you.
3 years older. Than
I'm
me.
older than. How old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay, I'm not. I'm 37.
I'm 40.
I'm 76.
With 20 children.
I look great. Yeah, no, but you were probably the perfect age for when that came out. It was, I think that came out the year of Iron Man. So you were probably what, like 7?
I was 7 or 6.
7 or 6, and you were watching it, and it's a good little history lesson of who the Avengers are. You know, for your generation. Yeah. Of like, if you want to know quick who I'm not part of the same generation as you.
Oh my god.
96 and counting.
That's your age.
That's my age. Yeah, I just go up. I just go up. Other people go down. What?
Are you a Marvel Eternal?
I am. You know, it's funny you say that.
Oh my god.
I am Kingo. I am Kingo, actually.
And another thing, which I probably should have not seen at my age, was Hulk versus
Wolverine.
Hulk
versus Wolverine, yeah.
And what was it? Planet Hulk.
Planet Hulk is a good one. Yeah. I like that one. It's more accessible than Hulk versus Wolverine.
Yeah, Hulk versus Wolverine is like, you definitely shouldn't let a 6-year-old watch.
No, that's rated R.
Yeah, that's rated R.
That's a rated R.
Planet Hulk is like, there's maybe like, I mean, it's just violence.
No, but it's like
it's still okay.
It's like John Carter.
Yeah, well,
John Carter
of
Mars.
More violent than John Carter.
Yeah, it is, but it's that a kid can watch both. You know.
I think you could be like, to be honest, I think you could be 7 or 8 to be allowed to watch that
for what?
For Planet Hulk.
I mean, it's not that bad though. I mean,
yeah, but I feel like you wouldn't really understand what's going on when you're 6.
Well, in what way? Like what do you mean?
Like, when I watch the film, I don't understand what I'm watching. I'm just like, oh, big Hulk. All right, cool. He's fighting. Sick.
But the cool thing is, it's a Hulk that is it's a very different type of Hulk.
It's a very fleshed out Hulk.
It's a Hulk that movie is essentially Gladiator with the Hulk,
with
you know?
Hulk, yeah.
And actually, I'm kind of curious. This is another sidebar, another chocolate bar.
Did he have a blue wife in that?
He had a wife in that, and that would supposedly lead into World War Hulk at some point. But I'm curious what you think. Before anything, have you been watching She-Hulk at all?
So I know the 3rd episode released today.
It releases, I think, tonight. Actually.
Oh, tonight. Okay.
Tonight.
Well, I'm going to watch that probably tomorrow for lunch or breakfast. Still figuring it out. So far, I've only watched the 2 first episodes. I have interesting views.
Right.
In the sense of, also real quick, I just had to shout this out. Her law degree is from UCLA. So,
yes.
So
you were probably down with that.
I was very down with that. I know, while everyone
and then
was
she mentioned the student loans.
Stupid Wolverine and the Eternals Easter egg. I saw
that was dope.
All right, first off, I didn't even see that in the film. I had to
neither did
Instagram and look for it. And like people were like, "Oh my god, there's an Easter egg and it's so huge." No, it's not. It's like in the.
Wait a minute. It's huge, all right.
It's huge, but it's in the corner. I can't notice.
It's huge, but it's small.
It's huge, but it's small.
But yeah, you're like, oh, she's going to the school, or she went to school that I'm at.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
That was pretty cool. So for the show, I definitely think that I feel like either it's an unbridled stroke of genius or an arrogance on understanding. I mean, not arrogance, but an ignorance on understanding the character Hulk for the show. In the sense
in the character of the Hulk.
In the character of the Hulk for Bruce Banner.
Understanding him.
Understanding him,
I'm
or
interested.
a bridal,
just a
it's either a stroke of genius what they're doing for his character, or kind of like they're forgetting about his character. In this sense,
I'm curious.
For She-Hulk,
his
cousin, with that scene where she's talking to Bruce about, I handle anger a little bit more than you.
Yeah.
It can either be perceived as these 2 ways. Either one, that she, because this is on the focus of her, it is showing that she doesn't really care about her cousin's past trauma and about what he went through, about how he almost killed himself every time.
Killed multiple
and
people.
Has killed multiple people and has hurt the lives that are around him. And she's blatantly being this arrogant because she's telling him her reality and her side of the story and being fleshed into this new reality now that she has to face what he has faced.
Okay.
And is also showing on his side, you don't understand my pain. She's saying, no, you don't understand my pain.
Right.
That is my understanding on the unstroke of genius.
Okay.
Now, for the ignorance part, sometimes the writing feels like it kind of forgets that Hulk has, or they're not making enough clear references that Hulk has gone through all of this trauma. It's more or less up to the fans' interpretation, or at least how I felt, that we understand what Hulk has went through.
Yeah.
But does the writers know what has Hulk went through?
I would say they do. When it comes, and the reason I brought up She-Hulk at all is because I want to talk about the characterization, exactly what you brought up, the characterization of the Hulk so far, because that's been a big criticism towards Marvel lately.
Yeah.
Ever since Endgame and the introduction of this smart Hulk, Marvel has gotten a lot of shit. But, what'd you say?
It's been Gray Hulk.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool if he was gray. But Marvel has gotten a lot of shit for their latest interpretation of the Hulk.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of comparisons to what we were introduced with Edward Norton, right? Because in that, all sorts of memes on Instagram, you see that Hulk then versus what we have now, right? Mm-hmm. And that gets on my nerves, to be honest, because I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's a genuine... I think it's disingenuous, that comparison.
Well, I would definitely say the comparison between Edward Norton is very disingenuous because they're two different actors.
Yeah, but
different
also
stylizations.
But also it's a character arc.
Beginning of Hulk, or at least, I guess, because I understand how some people feel, because I feel like it's such a weird transition, and I was gonna say,
right,
it's kind of how I feel about Luke's character with Star Wars. It's
okay, yeah, that's fair.
It's such a weird transition to see a character go through so much trauma and so much pain, and then kind of, we understand that he is going through his end life, and he is trying to forgive all his past sins and what he has done, and to hurt people. But it's also weird to see we don't get drunk.
Well, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
That's not how alcohol works.
Hey, you know what? I don't see fucking 8 feet tall green people either, Brian.
But I kind of understand how people would be very like, why is Hulk kind of being always treated like a butt? The
butt of a joke?
Of a joke. Similar to also like how how Falcon and the Winter Soldier kind of made Captain America kind of like an asshole or selfish.
Okay, so we're addressing the Hulk point.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the Hulk. I actually like where the Hulk is. Are you okay? All right.
I dropped a chip.
in your Johnny Blazing sauce.
Johnny Blazing sauce.
That's a good name. Johnny Blazing sauce. There we go, bro.
No one steal it.
Shut the fuck up. But
we'll find you.
I like the idea of where the Hulk is right now in terms of he went through a lot of trauma.
He did.
And is now trying to achieve a very balanced life. I like the quote, being a Hulk requires balance. I think that's an interesting direction for the character, especially looking where he started, because Edward Norton's film is canon. And in the last episode they make a joke saying,
he changed a lot.
He changed a lot. So they make it very clear that stuff did happen. Yeah. His story started there, and he was uncontrollable then. And his whole journey so far has been about control. And I think the turn of him becoming more comedic was introduced, clearly in Ragnarok, right? Yeah. So I feel like the movies ever since then have been trying
very subtle comedy, because it wasn't like him cracking jokes with everyone else, more or less it was about physical humor, which I would even say is more genius sometimes. Yeah,
and I like the idea of the smart Hulk. That is something from the comics, a lot of...
I just want him to be gray.
We'll probably get that. We'll probably get the Gray Hulk at some point, because the Hulk deals with multiple personalities, and Mr. Fix-It, one of the gray versions, is the gray version, Yeah. So I'm down with that in the future. But I do think we will get to that Hulk that is like just a fucking like a monster again. I think we will get to that point. And that's the other
thing. I feel like a lot of people are upset, similar to me, where we get a lot of projects about a lot of characters who sometimes I feel like we don't really need a development on them just yet. Mm-hmm. Or other times where the characters needed a development from prior, like a long time ago, and then now they're getting their projects. Now it's like, it's a little overdue now.
Yeah.
And especially when they're dead. It's like, why would I really care?
Well, another thing is that Marvel... for so long hasn't had the rights to the Hulk. That was Universal, and it was a partnership that they were allowed to use the Hulk in their kind of similar to what Spider-Man's deal is with the MCU. So they just weren't able to make
Sony would make so
Hulk
much money, but I get it.
For
they
what?
make pretty good games of just selling off the rights.
Well, I mean, that's a whole other conversation. With the Hulk, if we had gotten it like another Hulk film, we probably would have gotten the treatment and a more consistent story that people have been wanting. And I'm confident that in the future, at some point, we will get another Hulk film with Mark Ruffalo.
Hopefully Hulk World War,
World War Hulk,
and
that would be fucking great.
Maybe we'll see Mr. Gray and Red Hulk.
Yeah.
Maybe we will see that, and we'll see an introduction of the multiverse, which is.
Well, they're doing that, yeah. And they're there already.
Yeah.
And Red Hulk would have to be someone else because William Hurt passed away.
Yeah.
General Thunderbolt Ross. So they got to figure that out. But yeah, I'm confident in what they're going to do with the Hulk.
Real quick, I just want to throw a little casting.
For who?
For fan casting for World Hulk.
World War Hulk?
World War Hulk.
Okay, this looks like it's a joke.
Maybe,
just looking at your face, it looks like you're gonna mess with me right now.
Maybe Grey Hulk is Edward Norton, and then
okay.
What if
from
Red
another
Hulk,
universe?
Yeah, and what if Red Hulk is what's his name? Either
Eric Bana?
No.
from the 2003
the guy who plays,
film.
Billy, the butcher from The Boys.
What's his name? Carl Urban?
Carl Urban, yeah.
That'd be interesting. I mean, he was in Thor Ragnarok.
He was in Thor Ragnarok.
But I guess if it's another universe, right? He can just, that'd be interesting. I think that's interesting. Edward Norton being a variant of Bruce Banner.
Yeah, that would just make sense because like Spider-Man, they had their variants.
That's true. I would be shocked if he came back, especially with how he left Marvel and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I am curious how different the Hulk would be if it were still Edward Norton. I'm very curious about that.
That film was not the greatest, but
it was cool. I like that film.
It's cool.
I like that.
I'll say that it's definitely like a Transformers film. I'll say that.
I don't know if I would go that far, but you
you
say that all
you
want.
I like the Transformers film, so maybe that's why.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. Again. The wrong thing to say.
No, I only like 1 through 3, and I think that's fair.
My God, you like the one? See, Brian, this is exactly why you like the prequels, okay? Because I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for this point until we get to Star Wars talk. Let's talk about some comic books that we've been reading, some recommendations. Now,
Ooh.
I don't know if you've been reading anything. Have you been reading anything lately?
Besides the thing that you gave me on Marvel Trivia Night, no.
Well, what did I give you? Let's hear it.
You gave me the Infinity War saga, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, you've been reading that?
Yeah.
How's it been? How'd you like it?
Pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, so far, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got so entranced to the point where I was like, can I find the continuation of this or like the sequel or the prequel so I can get a little bit more context? So I was trying to look through it, and I actually found an interesting website that gives off a lot of free comic books online. But it's like one of those illegal download pages kind of thing and stuff. And then I went to a rabbit hole because then I was like, you know what? I haven't fully read Crossed, so let me read Crossed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fully read it, and now I don't see life the same anymore.
What is Crossed?
Crossed is an interesting horror gore comic book. If you thought The Boys and Invincible was gory, you have not read Crossed. Crossed literally has a scene. It's a disgusting book. It is literally it's not even a book anyone should read. I read it because I was just intrigued. Don't. Crossed.
Don't do
I'll
it.
give you 2 instances.
Yeah.
One of the worst instances I saw was a hillbilly zombie guy. It's kind of like the premise is that the book is like a zombie virus similar to 28 Days Later.
Okay.
Where it's not like people are actually zombies, but more or less infected with hate
and
rage. But instead of hate and rage, it's satanic hate and rage.
Oh, shit.
So people...
A good little Christian boy like you reading this, Brian?
It's like evil ritual. Like, imagine Insidious and 28 Days connected to each other. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a hillbilly zombie guy who beats people
What's
to
his
death.
name?
I think his name is Bob.
Bob
or
Otis?
or Billy Bob.
Billy Bob. Oh,
yeah.
shit. His
and
name's
he
Billy
beats
Bob.
people to death and cracks their skulls open
Uh-huh.
with a horse penis. With an erected horse penis that he ripped off from a horse.
See, it makes more sense why you showed me that photo earlier of Pikachu.
Yeah. And there's another scene which I hate when I was reading it. It's a scene where this... and it's an anthology book.
Oh, okay.
So
kind of like World War Z?
Kind of, yeah. Kind of like World War Z. In the sense of... we have a scene, and I don't want to laugh at it. It's horrible. Where one of the characters that we follow is part of a family on a farm, and they had a lot of past trauma, and it shows their life before the outbreak, where their father molested all 3 of the sisters because the mom had recently passed away, and he had been abusing them for a while.
Yeah.
And during the zombie outbreak, one of the sisters gets infected.
Okay.
And the father, who still gets drunk and still touches his daughters, molests his younger daughter who was infected.
Oh, Jesus.
And she gets pregnant.
Who wrote this shit?
And the child is also infected. And so the oldest daughter kills her father and kills her sister, but doesn't notice that the child is still pregnant, and the child pops out and kills the middle sister by strangling it with his umbilical cord and cussing and cursing
Jesus,
obscenities.
Brian,
And the
where did
older
you get this
sister
book?
strangles her baby sister's child.
Brian, who gave you this shit? Who told you about this?
I was watching the boys' comic book stuff, and I was reading them.
Comics
and then,
Explained?
Yeah, and I was trying to explain this stuff, and they're like, well, at least it's not as bloody as crossed. And I was like, what is that?
What's crossed?
And I searched it up,
my
and I
God.
don't see life anymore.
Dude, oh my God.
It's horrible. It's really horrible.
Oh my God, that's awful. Yeah, don't look this up.
Yeah,
is
please
it,
do not look it up. It's awful.
How's the art style? Is it very? I imagine it's exploited.
It's like Walking Dead.
Walking Dead?
Yeah, it's like Walking Dead art style.
Okay.
It's good.
Right.
It's not unique in any regard. Like it's not like Invincible how it's distinct, or like The Boys on how it's like it's cell shading is like similar to like Kick-Ass. It's like Walking Dead.
Is it like kind of ugly and mean spirited? It sounds that way.
Very ugly.
Yeah. And not in terms of like
Not in terms
the quality.
Quality, no. Like,
but
in
just
terms of like
the look of it, right? Yeah, the theme.
Oh, and then there's a scene where they see a zombie molesting a dolphin.
What the? Well, I mean, you know what dolphins do. I mean,
And yeah, I'm gonna say this is just that's fine. Dolphins molest other creatures.
Dolphins are crazy, man.
In fact, I'll show you right now.
Oh no, Brian, don't. Wait, I think you have showed me this.
I have showed you.
Oh my God, Brian. You're going to get a live reaction now, but we're not showing this in the video. Oh my Jesus, Brian. What the hell is this? Oh my God. I thank God the image is low quality.
Thank God the image is low quality.
Yeah, that's not an HD JPEG. It's disgusting.
Yep.
It's a small megapixel.
It's a horrible book. I do not encourage anyone to read it.
Oh God.
If you like really gory stuff, go ahead. I'm forewarning you. It is disgusting. Not as
Jacob would probably like it.
Yeah, Jacob. Actually, me and Jacob were talking about it.
Oh my God.
And he is down to read it.
Oh my God. He's like, that sounds fucked up, fool. That's crazy, fool.
I also read something recent too.
Okay.
And it's actually kind of reminds me of like Archie's art style. It's like a cutesy art style, but the material is dark.
What was it?
It was zombie. I think it was zombie hooker or zombie mistress or something like that. And it's basically like the premise is that it's like a nighttime walker woman who gets abused and killed and stabbed and shot in the head by like an abusive elite guy. And these kids do like some like science. It's funny. So like they do like a weird like Jimmy Neutron science experiment, and they make her come alive. And then they're like, "Oh, what's your name?" She's like, "Oh, my name was Jessica," or like, "My name was like Roberta," like something like it's basic. I think it was Samara, or Samantha. And then they're like, "Oh, this and that," and it gets to the point where it's like crime-fighting duo of the boys. The boys. But no, these two young boys who help out this zombie hooker help her kill the guys that led to her death, and so she frees like other hookers who like are being molested or like abused and stuff.
Brian, what the hell?
And it's all like
there's a running theme here with what you're reading.
Yeah,
what
like
the
a
hell
lot of
is
zombies. I like zombies, man.
That's cool. Not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about, Brian. You sick bastard. Yeah. So do you know what publishers what publishers are putting these books out?
I believe Cross's publisher is the same as The Boys.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe that the zombie... Here, I'll actually search up the zombie one right now.
Okay.
But yeah.
That sounds like Dynamite would put out that that one of the zombie book. Because The Boys, I mean, after a while, it just became exploitive, you know? And
it really did.
I mean, with Hero-gasm and everything, it literally just became porn and violence porn.
Zombie Tramp. There we go.
Zombie Tramp, okay.
Yeah, and then I can't, here.
Zombie Tramp, Jesus Christ.
It's a funny book. It's a funny comic.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is not what I was expecting at all. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. It's similar Archie's style, but like it's gory.
So it's by Action Lab Danger Zone?
I guess so.
By a writer named Mendoza, Miles Mendoza.
Miles Mendoza. Here, let me see if that is that, or if that's just like a...
Love writing my fetish
like
books.
Stamp, you know?
My fetish books.
It's very good, and it actually kind of reminds me of something that I read when I was kind of younger, which I thought was like funny at the time, where it kind of was the similar... I think it was the similar writer of Kick-Ass. And it was
Mark Millar?
Yeah, Mark Millar. And it was something called The Pro, and it was about like a nighttime prostitute who got superhero powers.
See, it's fun. Okay, with that, I need to, because now it's a pattern. Now I have to ask, Brian, what is it about these books and their subject matter? Because it's the same themes I'm hearing: abuse, molestation, prostitutes.
Why'd you say it like that?
Because I'm thinking, I got mole on the back of my mind. What is it about these themes that attract you to these books? Like, why is it that of the books you've read, these are the ones that first came to your mind?
Well, I kind of like a lot of dark material in the sense of like I like reading it, and I think it tells real human stories and tells them really well.
Right.
As for a reason why I love Invincible and love The Boys.
Right.
It's trying to include real life stories within a fake material and try and handle that type of material. And Marvel has done that in DC too, of like trying to do like suicide prevention or like murder and like other type of things. But I feel like with that, it's, I don't want to say disingenuous, but I feel like it's almost guaranteed because a lot of those projects are not anything real. It's all like, I mean, they have a lot of real material. I would say maybe Young Justice goes over the most of the realities of DC. And I think they do a little bit too much to the point where it's like horrible now.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of these projects, they don't have the same weight of like losing a following or gaining anyone because it's just, this is what makes it and they're just going to do it. Or similar to like reading Walking Dead. It's like interesting to see people's real life stories and like the pain and the suffer that they go through and seeing how they overcome that, or even seeing their boiling point to the point where they don't overcome it and seeing how that affects other people. In
a lot of these independent books, there is no overcoming, you know, like it's just really dark cynicism a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And that's what The Boys was for a long time, you know, and it does have a relatively happy ending, but that at least Huey's quote-unquote happy ending, it came at a very dark, heavy price.
Yeah.
You know? And I know they're actually continuing The Boys.
Really?
There's like a new run, apparently, of The Boys where it's set, like, I think 15 years after the original series ended, and Huey's older at this point and everything. So I've heard a little bit about it, and it's, you know, it's, I don't know. I need to...
Are you down with it or no?
From what I've seen, I'm not too interested in it. I mean, there are some aspects about it that are interesting, like he's dealing with the PTSD of meeting Butcher. So that's interesting. But I feel like sometimes I just need, like with the shit you just brought up, I feel like I have to wash my ears because I didn't read it. If I read it, I'd probably have to wash my eyes, you know? Yeah. But, no.
But I also think that the difference between me is that I love horror.
Yeah, so do
as
I.
a genre, and I like watching that type of stuff. I know that my mom and people always tell me you probably shouldn't watch or listen to that stuff. I get it, but I understand what's reality and what's false. Things like when people die, like I actually this morning, I don't want to be too sad.
What happened?
I was watching, I think it was Oni Plays, but the guys who make Smiling Friends, and I was watching something from them, and they brought up something about the Garbage Twins. It was a father and son duo, and it's a funny but horrible video where it's the son and father who are like these hillbillies, and they're fighting with their neighbor over trash. And their neighbor is throwing out like this cardboard box, and the father and son are trying to take the box.
Yeah.
And the neighbor doesn't want them to. And it gets to a point where they start yelling at each other, and boiling point where the father shows his gun. And then the other father and the neighbor starts yelling at him. It's like, you dare like point a gun and show me your gun. Like, my kids can see this. You're a horrible man. Like, I'll kill you and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And the funny part comes with the father and son being like, you ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it. And it's like,
geez.
And it's weird that this is real. Like, it feels like this is such like a scene. And so the neighbor gets, and the wife, I feel like the neighbor and the wife could have been the mature people and just left the situation as is. I mean, of course, no one should point a gun at another person, but if someone points a gun at me, I'm not going to continue arguing with them. I'm just going to go back in my home or call the police and do both.
Wait, what does this have to do with anything?
Oh, well, basically...
Get to the point, goddammit.
The point is that the wife eggs on her husband, the neighbor, to fight them, and he does. So he takes a 2x4 and swings it at the father. The father does get hit on his temple, not major. The father gets out of the way, and the son shoots the neighbor point blank with a shotgun.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Kills him.
Oh, my
and
God.
The recording doesn't show that, but it does show the wife screaming at the top of her lungs, being like, Michael? And
see,
that's the end of the video.
so this is... Okay, so you're just attracted to really dark material.
I'm attracted to a lot of real life things and seeing how like that I can use that with like media or like within writing that I do or like with entertainment things I do. And also I just kind of like learning about the world and seeing like how people can like get to such a low and seeing like, wow, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah. I just like learning about the world and seeing about things.
Well, in a lot of the independent stuff, you get... those writers don't have as many restrictions as the big two have, when it comes to displaying reality in a gritty sense. So I get that part of the attraction but I mean, a lot of books like that just become fetish books and everything, and it's just really annoying and dumb.
Yeah, Cross and the boys towards the later part of the books definitely has fetishization, and I think with Cross, just the entire thing is it's horror porn.
Yeah.
And it gets disgusting to the point where you don't want to watch it.
Right.
The storytelling and the story writing, and anthologies are supposed to be like, oh, the writing's sound and good, and even knowing about these people, it doesn't feel like that with Cross. It feels like the very first group of people that we meet are interesting, and like a majority of them kill themselves or like get murdered instantly. And then it shows off to these two people who are like the last survivors.
Yeah.
We never see them again. And now we're on to this family who, like, molests their own children. And then we go on to this other family. And then we go on to this cop.
It sounds like it's, like, trying really hard to top The Walking Dead.
Kind of, yeah.
And it's like
it's
when
like 28 days later, but, like, I'd rather read a comic book about 28 days.
Yeah, and when you involve a dolphin in that shit, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you some books I've been reading, Brian.
All right, cool.
Get away from all this
True, yeah.
disgusting shit you've been reading.
Books, yeah.
So one of the first books I'm going to bring up is a book that you're not... I don't know if you're familiar with it, but you know about these characters.
Show, yeah.
You know the show. It is the Doom Patrol. It's Doom Patrol, specifically Grant Morrison's run. This is the book that redefined what the Doom Patrol is. It's essentially the show you watched. Did you watch it all?
Not everything.
Okay.
Only the first season.
Okay, so this is the book that essentially influenced what the Doom Patrol is and how they're considered nowadays. Did you like the show at all? Do you like the odd aspects of it, the surrealism?
I liked it way better than Titans. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
I think they could have been better. I know that everyone considers it like the best show of that time and era of like the DC TV show era. I would say that is true. I think I like the surrealism, and I do like the real human aspects of it. I just feel like sometimes the writing could have been better.
Yeah.
The villain was weird. I don't know. I wasn't really too into him that much. CGI kind of reminded me of CW, like The Flash or like Supergirl.
Oh man, don't even go there. That's a whole other
Supergirl,
level, dude.
Oh my god.
That's all of it. That's insulting, Brian. That's insulting. But yeah, so this is a cool book. I just read the first issue, the first part of this volume.
And how is it?
It's really cool. It focuses a lot on Robot Man,
Nice.
who's the character Brendan Fraser plays. It's really sad. I mean, it opens up with him having a dream of his accident that caused him to lose his body. Because he was a race car driver, loses his body in an accident, and he's now a robot man, literally a robot
his body
man.
from the Mummy.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. He's literally essentially a cyborg, and he has PTSD. He locked himself away in a psych ward, and he's just steeped in depression and isolation and everything. So it's really relatable, really hard.
It really is, because
read.
And to be honest, I loved his story the most in the show, and and I love Brendan Fraser. I don't know anyone who like has a problem with him.
No, how could you have a problem?
I like Brendan Fraser. I honestly don't know why he left Hollywood. I don't know.
Oh well, he had problems. He had some problems going on.
You let me know those problems later. But I still agree with him on everything. But no, I liked his character because I think it's a very I won't say it's an underused type of character. I will say it is a very underappreciated character. Mm-hmm. The lonely veteran who has gone through a lot. And for instance, this brings me, I'm actually going to cut from the comic book. I'm going to bring it to some real life with Tim O'Brien's When We Were Soldiers. The Things They Carried. Okay. Which is one of my favorite books of all time. It is a book about Vietnam War veterans.
Yeah.
And it follows the story of Tim O'Brien with his platoon, and specifically aftermath of him meeting one of his friends who was called Lucky and Joker and other types of people who are funny and who are like the life of the party. And with him seeing them kill themselves right in front of him later on when he went to go visit them in their homes. Mm-hmm. And it's a very interesting book in the sense of it is talking about someone's life, about the past trauma, what they've gone through, and seeing how they handle that now with what they feel like is being in kind of not their own body. Yeah,
trauma is definitely a big aspect of this, and it's handled in an interesting way because he doesn't want help. He feels trapped. He feels trapped in this new body, he can't feel anything, literally cannot feel anything. So he's encouraged by, I forgot the character's name, but it's the man who created his body, and he also created the Metal Men, DC's Metal Men, and he's encouraged by him to help another patient in the ward, Crazy Jane, who's also in the show, and she has like 30-something personalities in her body and everything.
Female split.
Yes, and female split, and she's suffering from the same type of trauma that Robot Man is, and he's now kind of a caretaker so far from what I've read, and it's actually a really beautiful way of ending the first issue. I was like, wow, that's really nice.
From the TV show aspect, you see that in a little bit. I mean, I would view that, even though it's kind of like a father-daughter relationship in that regard, I would say Cyborg with his introduction,
more like a big brother, right?
It's more focused on him being a big brother rather than kind of the Robot Man, Yeah. Even though you do see it, I think the emphasis is more on Cyborg being there for Crazy Jane more than anyone else.
Yeah. I really like a lot of these characters. I'm excited to keep reading this shit because this shit is
let me know.
Spicy. This is, and I'll let you borrow it if you want.
Of course, I'll let you borrow anything that I have.
What do you have? What do you have?
I have Phantom of
Xbox 360.
Leave me alone. I have Phantom of
Oh, you have Mass Effect. That's right.
Be quiet. Hey, Mass Effect is a good game.
I know.
It is a great game.
I know.
You need to play it.
Only if it's Sebastian's.
Yeah, anti-seb. Dude, I'm actually gonna make an anti-seb run, and I want to record everything and send it to Sebastian.
Oh God! So the next thing I was reading is this
I've never seen this before.
This is
interesting.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. I've been bringing it up. It's been brought up a lot lately.
You brought it up to me. I was like, guess what? I just picked up.
Yes.
Brian.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's dope. This is a hardcover. I read the second issue this week. Actually, just before you got here.
Oh, nice.
Really cool.
Looks
Brian.
beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's really cool. Are you a Turtles fan?
I see. I am a Teenage
Okay. Well, then once I finish it, I'll definitely let you borrow this because this is it. Essentially, the idea of it. It's a dystopian future where one of the turtles lives and survives in this city of New York run by the Foot Clan.
Ooh.
It's a mystery in the first issue who the last Ronin is. I'm not going to spoil it.
Oh, okay.
I read the second issue.
It's Michelangelo.
I'm not saying anything. It's really dope. And like the second issue killed me because it dealt with trauma also, kind of similarly to how this other book, The Doom Patrol, did. And
who would have known that a turtle can make me feel
all sorts of things.
That's Sebastian.
It's not Cowabunga anymore. It's not Cowabunga.
It's no longer Cowabunga.
This isn't Fasha. not anymore.
I
love
forgot,
it.
what was that first TMNT, the animated series, the one from like MTV or like
MTV.
No.
Well, the first animated series was the, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
yeah.
like
Was
Pizza
that
Time,
one, that
Cowabunga.
Was, like, in the
the very early 90s,
very
I
early
think.
90s. I'm thinking about like early 2000s, like the one where the shell their eyes is all white and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more mature.
A little bit more mature. Still
I actually
goofy.
have 2 of the DVD copies of it if you ever
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Jesus. Oh, my God.
It's really good.
Well, I would be interested in that.
Thank you.
If they make an animated film of The Last Ronin, it would be really cool.
If they ever made an animated film of TMNT, I'm like, buddy.
Well, if they made an animated film of The Last Ronin specifically, it would be cool if they had that same animated style from that 2000s show, but just more mature. Because this is rated R. This is rated R book.
Nice.
For sure.
Nice.
Yeah. This is kind of...
For sure.
For sure, dude. This is the type of thing you would actually be interested in, because we established you're into the darker stuff when it comes to comic books and pretty much everything. You're kind of a weirdo that way.
I'm an alternative person, I'll say that much.
You think Batman
Which
is
I actually
dark?
found out pretty interesting, that that there's a difference between being goth and alternative.
You're alternative.
Yeah, because alternative means, and I don't know if it's true, but I found out that alternative is someone who likes dark stuff but is Christian. But like doesn't like too much dark stuff.
So a hypocrite. Okay. Okay, very cool.
Be quiet.
Very cool. One of the last things I wanted to bring up is a book that you actually would probably find some interest in. I love a lot of the independent stuff when it comes to graphic novels and comic books.
Ooh,
and
I thought that was a script for a second.
Oh, no. My manuscript.
I was like, yeah, that's your homework from Cal State LA.
No. This is called The Manhattan Project. And this is obviously a World War II book.
Yeah.
As you can see, you see Albert Einstein. I'll show you in a second. Let me just tell you a little bit about this book. Which is going to be difficult, because this, with a name like this, you would think it's one thing.
Yeah.
But it is not.
Ooh.
This is... I was reading some of it today.
Yeah.
Before you got here. This is a book that is incredibly difficult to describe, because we all know about the Manhattan Project.
Yeah.
You want to explain... You're the history buff.
Okay. Well,
explain some of the Manhattan
Project for people who do not know, which is, I don't...
Damn,
oh my God,
Johnny Blazin's
I know, my Johnny
sauce is hitting me.
My sauce So the Manhattan Project is directly the project name for making and creating of Fat Man and Little Boy, the nuclear bombs that bombed Japan, where the Manhattan Project, created by Oppenheimer, Joseph J. Oppenheimer? Robert J. Oppenheimer. Where he and a bunch of other scientists, I believe it was a team of 18 or a team of 8, I believe. Yeah. Where they created actually 4 bombs. When they tested one out, it worked, and the other one didn't work. And at their conclusion, they believed that it was a 50% chance of any of these bombs working. Mm-hmm. And when the first bomb dropped, it worked, and Japan would not back down and actually made a threat to the U.S. government saying, we are going to come at you with full force from now on, and you will all die. Yeah. And the second bomb was I want to carefullize my words. I want to be careful with my words. So I'm not going to say it's a blessing.
You're like William Shakespeare making new words. I want to carefullize my word.
I am Billy Shakespeare, to be honest. But the second bomb definitely was a necessary evil, because without it...
Oh, shit, Brian. Here we go. We
would have seen a really different side of history, and that actually stopped the Japanese from invading us fully.
Okay. So... There's the history.
And that's the Manhattan Project. And that's the history of it.
That's the Manhattan Project. So, this book,
I swear, if it's not about that, that's going to really upset me.
Well, so this is written by Jonathan Hickman. Jonathan Hickman is a really good writer in comic books who did a lot of Fantastic Four, the most recent Secret Wars, New Avengers, and stuff. He's been working for a long time. This came out in 2013. This book, I almost don't want to say anything about it because it is very unique and very just different. What it is, it's historical fantasy.
Ooh,
and it is
a what if history?
It's kind. I mean, very clearly when you start reading it, it is.
Nice.
It is very much like.
Can I say I love what if history more than real history sometimes? I gotta be real with people. Like I had a professor. No, he was a senior who was working on being a professor at Vanguard University with me. He and me talked what if history all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And our first discussions were, what if Franz Ferdinand's death was blamed on Austria instead of Germany? Because he was... Because it was actually Austria who invaded the neighboring country first, and it wasn't Germany. And Germany got put in the blame for World War I because it was just their duke.
Okay,
so Germany.
So you probably really like this. This is by Image.
And
the thing is,
Image. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Yes.
Dude, you better send me the link or get me that for Christmas, bro.
I'll lend you this copy once
right.
I finish it.
All right, cool.
And the thing is, I went into this book thinking it was going to be about the making of the atom bomb.
Of the bombs,
and I still don't know 100% of what it is about because I've read only the first issue. But from what I understand, it is Men in Black meets Hellboy. And it is about Oppenheimer. Okay. He is the main character, but it's not. It's about him, but it's also not about him. Imagine Oppenheimer with a multiple personality disorder.
Ooh.
So it's very.
This is what
unique.
Oppenheimer by Christopher Nolan's gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, this doesn't even have a description on it.
It just says science bad.
Yeah, literally, it doesn't have any sort of description like the other books I have.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It just said science bad.
I thought that was just like, is this like his like Mark Twain? Not Mark Twain. It was
Samuel Clemens. Yeah. So it's a very unique book.
It looks nice. I like it. It's very simple.
The Manhattan Projects.
I was gonna say there's a book that I actually have, which is kind of a comic book. It's more as like a comic journal, but instead it's actually real history, and it's called. I believe it's America's Torment on the American People, and it's a book directly about how the forefathers and how they created America and their legislation, and it's all. And actually, I'll lend you the book so you can read it. It's really good. And it's all stylized, talking about the forebears of real America with Native Americans and the people who first came here. And it actually gets pretty gory with some parts of Native Americans' heads being blown off, or people being spiked, people being scalped, or people being hunged. And it's talking about, like, from all perspectives of Native American life in America, Black American life in America, Chinese Americans or Chinese immigrants in America, and Mexican Americans and Mexican immigrants in America and stuff like that.
That's interesting.
And it's kind of like, what is America in reality from those perspectives, and how that makes true America.
And it's all sorts of things.
Yeah.
America's all sorts of... It's not one fucking thing, Brian. That's what you need to understand.
Well,
you know what it is? It is one thing. Well, it's capitalist. All right?
Well, actually, to be honest, America's whole thing, and I actually had to write a paper about this, America's whole identity is the loss of identity. It's kind of like the gaining of the American ideology and the American value by losing your own values and your own sense of identity.
Okay, look, I don't mean this to come off as an insult, okay? But I saw this video from this documentary.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was, but it was a South American guy who went to this part of South America, and he was white. Or not South America, South Africa. I'm sorry. I think he was from Johannesburg, and he goes to this black area in Johannesburg, and he's saying, he's like, yes, I am racist. Because he says, yes, I am racist because I want to preserve my own culture. This is what if I'm racist, that means I preserve my own culture. That's what you sound just like, bro.
Oh my god.
Okay, but speaking of wrong takes.
I don't sound like that.
Speaking of wrong takes.
No, it's not wrong, though. That's like how America is,
Speaking of wrong takes. There's another book that I wanted to recommend.
America's whole thing is about losing your own identity and your cultural identity and gaining America's identity.
Capitalism. Let me bring this up. Let me bring this up, Brian. God damn it. Okay. I'm trying to recommend another book. This is the final book. No, I'm trying to teach you, okay? I'm trying to teach you about this book that you'll be interested in.
Who here got offered a teaching position?
Me right now.
No,
yeah.
me.
Oh no, you clearly didn't check my mailbox earlier today when you got here. I got a little mailbox and it had a little piece of mail in there. I got a little mailbox, but there's a lot in it. And I got a teaching position.
It's just a little toaster, but like it's shaped like a mailbox.
Yeah, they put it in and then you have the little lever.
Dude, that would be cool. But
yeah.
No,
okay.
continue.
No, but this book.
Which I still want to see.
It's a different book.
Inside.
No. Shut the Mine. This last book I wanted to bring up is by Dark Horse.
Ooh, nice.
And you're going to love this, Brian.
Star Wars.
It is actually called The Star Wars. And the thing about this book...
Pretentious much, but continue.
No, it's literally called The Star Wars, this book.
That's good.
And it is about... You'd imagine it's about Star Wars and how we know it today. This book, this graphic... No, none of that bullshit, Brian. This is about... this is a graphic novel based on the original story and the original script and drafts from George Lucas of the original Star Wars.
That's cool.
So it's actually a lot of the artwork is based off the original concept art by I forgot. Do you remember his name? I forgot. I always forget his name. I always forget his name. But the iconic concept art and visuals.
Also, like the OG lightsabers where they were very thin.
The stormtroopers,
which looks very samurai.
Yes.
And then the OG stormtroopers.
Yes.
And then Luke, also OG C-3PO.
Yes, OG C-3PO. Wow, OG. Cool. It's Star Killer originally.
Yeah, Star Killer.
So it's this book, and I remember reading it a long time ago, and I wanted to bring it up to you because I know you're a big Star Wars fan.
Right, yeah.
You love the original canon, the extended universe, and everything. And this book, I remember reading it years ago, and it was an interesting take because the art's beautiful, and it's just a different story about what Star Wars was in George Lucas's mind and his vision.
It's like Freddie Prinze Jr. trying to describe Rebels and why you should watch it, and then him being like, I'm just a good voice actor, and then me playing Mass Effect 3. No, you ain't.
Well, yeah, I mean, you love him as Kanan Jarrus.
No, he's amazing.
Right, yeah, so come on. Give him some credit. Give the boy some... Let the boy try.
I know, but when I hear him say, loco, I want to shoot him.
Look, dog, you're just mad it's not aging with you. No, but the Star Wars Tony. The Star Wars is about the original idea of Star Wars from George Lucas. Ralph McQuarrie, the artist, that's his name. Right. Ralph McQuarrie. A lot of his art is implemented in this book. Original character and vehicle designs. I think it's about Han Solo.
That's so cool.
Either Han Solo or Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Nice.
No, because Han Solo I think was originally like a Swamp Thing monster.
Also, wasn't he supposed to die?
I don't remember. Later? It's been a couple years since I've read it, but it was a really cool... It's like a what if, A lot of people lately have been saying, I want Star Wars stories that are kind of like what ifs,
isn't kind of like Star Wars Visions kind of like that?
I don't know. I think it's canon. I mean, the anime show. Yeah. I've not watched any of Visions.
Oh, you should. Very good.
Well, then you would know more if it's like what if.
Well... It's not really what if in the sense of it doesn't feel like different universes. I won't spoil it too much for you, but it definitely, when they said different studios of animation are making this, it is that you just can't really get a sense or feel that this is all part of the same universe, but you do. Like, it feels like not part of Star Wars where Luke and Leia is at, but more or less just a
different part of the universe, right? Just different sections and areas, and that's cool. But this is if you want it, like the closest thing to a what if is the Star Wars. That is literally what it's called. I would suggest buying it, but it is crazy expensive nowadays. It is like near $100 for the trades, like the hardcover trades and everything. It is.
I would buy a hardcover.
Yeah, well, if you look it up, if you see how much it is, look up the Star Wars Dark Horse, because it's another thing. It's Dark Horse.
Yeah, Dark Horse.
The original publishers of Star Wars books, and now it's Marvel. Even though I haven't kept up with the Marvel Star Wars comics, I don't even know what books are.
Is it this?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it's not that. That's used. Oh my god.
Yeah. So Brian just looked up, for those who are listening, Brian just looked up on his phone the pricings for the Star Wars.
It's expensive. It's not that expensive.
Here, come to the mic. Come to the mic.
It's $84 new and $56 used.
I've seen some higher prices. I mean, that's a cheap price.
Oh, so I just found one for all like versions, like all trilogies and all
the issues.
The issues, yeah, $279.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's a nice thing to own. Nice piece to own. Yep. I used to work at the library that I read this book at. I should have taken it. I should have just taken it. It is beautiful.
Looking at it, it's just stylized. Is like,
yeah.
Dude, Vader looks like a Ronin. It's so awesome. Like, check this out.
The cover that you're looking at right now it's the iconic Star Wars cover.
Yeah.
That the poster that we all know, where everyone's like shooting and everything. Darth Vader is above, but it's in those character models, the original character models.
That you see a lot of the beauty shine. Like, this is cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so awesome.
If you can read it online at some point, if you can find it.
I'm sure I can find it for free online.
Yeah, you probably can.
A PDF.
But if you ever wanted to own it...
I mean, it's not the same, yeah. There's a clear difference.
Yeah, I mean, would you invest
that
totally much money?
Would. Oh my god, yes I would. Dude,
do it then. Do it right now. Buy it. Buy it. Buy it right now.
You don't understand.
On mic. Buy it right now.
I'll buy it later.
No, buy it right now. No, you're willing to buy it. Buy it right now.
Literally, when they were giving, when they were like, oh, here's the Legacy Edition of Mass Effect, I literally went to every single store, every single online dealer, to buy all the legendary editions of all the OG Xbox 360 Mass Effects.
See, you say this. You say you're a big fan, but why aren't you
buying it right now? I want to buy it on my computer.
Yeah, so full of shit, Brian. I'm sorry,
and also,
dude.
it says like on eBay, so I don't trust eBay.
Come on, Brian. Don't be like that. Just buy it so I can have it.
Donald. Where's Donald Glover on your game? It upsets me that he's not
Ignore the TV. Ignore the TV with Kingdom Hearts on it.
No. I wish I could.
Still.
But it's still here. It's still here. We're on a different podcast series. It's still on. I bet you if I listen to the other ones, they're going to be like, oh, wow, you still have Kingdom Hearts on? Like,
well, ever since we did Ignore This Podcast, Chapter 1, when you helped me out get back into my podcasting.
Yeah. I appreciate you inviting me.
Of course. I appreciated you coming here. It was on then. I've not turned it off since then.
Yeah, you're evil. People, let this man know that he has Red Dead Redemption here in his home, too, and he still hasn't played it. And he
what am I playing?
Minecraft.
What am I playing? What am I playing?
A shitty Disney.
How dare you? It's Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix.
All right, fine.
It's
that's
lit.
fine.
It's
that's
lit.
Fine. But you stop at 3. Do you get that? You stop at that. Whatever tumorous game that is.
Turmeric.
It's literally Disney. It is literally Disney, the third game. It's like, oh, here's a shooting ride. Oh,
well, speaking of Disney, I mean, you're all about that Star Wars stuff, and we've argued quite a bit about Star Wars. Yeah. Brian, you are younger than me. You know,
be quiet.
You are younger than me, which is a factor in this.
All right, I love Lynn, but Lynn is older than you.
So she's not that much older than me, bro. What the hell are you talking about?
Like
act like what?
She's 2 years older than you, right?
No, we're the same age. Pretty. I don't understand. What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything?
I'm saying, like, Lynn acts like us.
So?
And you're like, oh, it's your generation.
First of all, I am not Lynn, okay? Second of all, what are you talking about? You're just wrong on this, my friend. So you're one of these guys, and I'm joking a lot of times.
So you're one of these guys.
You're one of these guys who will defend
the prequels.
The prequels. Now, before we get into that discussion, because that is a big discussion,
yes,
and I know you have to get out of here soon.
Oh, okay.
But we have time. So, what is it about Star Wars that you really love the most? You know, because you're really passionate about Star Wars. You'll talk to me about Gungan biology, Gungan physiology, and all that shit. What is it about Star Wars that really, cooks your bacon and shit?
Well, what I'm gonna say is actually stolen from someone else when I saw something like it was like a review on Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars makes you feel a part of it because there's a little bit for everyone,
right?
No matter who you're looking at, no matter who is on screen, you can relate to some of these characters. You can feel to them, and you can just like it. I also think over the years, the popularization of Star Wars and kind of just me growing up with it when the prequels did came out, and not because of the
I don't
prequels.
think you were born when they came out.
No. No, I was born during when the second and the third one came out.
That's true. But you didn't know what things
I
were.
didn't know what they were, but
Right.
I watched them with my family. My mom was like, "Oh, this came out. You want to go see it?" And I
Okay.
was 2, and
Okay.
I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Okay. Right.
But it's not. I shouldn't say that. I think it wasn't the films that made me fall in love with them. It was the community. And what I mean by this is that
Really?
be quiet.
Okay.
So,
Go ahead.
The reason why I say this is that Disney, or it was Universal Studios, they held a Jedi training camp where you would sign up and you would learn how to be a Jedi for a day.
Okay.
And so they had me fight against Darth Maul. And I got a lightsaber, and I got Jedi robes, and I got a Jedi certificate saying I'm a Jedi, legally.
Did you beat Darth Maul, or did he beat you?
No, I beat Darth Maul.
Right.
I beat him.
Okay. Did he let you win?
He probably did.
What was the move you did on Darth Maul? Because it's easy to beat him.
Oh, I actually did go hard. I actually did the same thing that Obi-Wan did.
Yeah.
Like in the Rebels, I actually went down his blade, and he like acted like he was ripped apart from the half.
See, well, that's because it's easy to beat Darth Maul. He's not really that
He's
bright.
not that challenging.
He's not that bright.
I know. I wasn't in the Darth Vader line or the who else Boba Fett line. Yeah, they had younglings fighting Boba Fett there.
Well, to be fair, Boba Fett's not really that tough. I mean, give a youngling Mando. That youngling is dead. give youngling Anakin, any youngling, any
youngling.
race. You know what I mean? It's
Any man, any woman, any child.
the women
So
and the children.
as much as people like to say the community is toxic, right? Which I can't
It
lie.
get- well,
it can get toxic.
It can get toxic. Yeah,
I'm not gonna say it's toxic. I think any
I-
community can get to a level of toxicity.
I think it. I don't think it's inherently toxic, but I think it gets toxic pretty regularly. You know, with each film or each set of films that comes out, whether it be the prequels or the sequels.
But
That
with
happens.
that in mind, right?
Right.
Growing up, when all these films were coming out, going to specialized Star Wars conventions, seeing people look at me, and especially like, of course, when a little kid is there, you're going to be a little bit more respectful and be like, oh, let's show these kids like what Star Wars is. I got free Star Wars gifts when I was a little kid. Some guy gave me a golden C-3PO when he was like being praised as the god, like an old-fashioned figurine.
On the chair and everything.
Yeah. My uncle was such a big Star Wars fan. He and my mom did the most coolest thing for me on Christmas. When I turned 8, getting into Star Wars Clone Wars, they filled my entire house. I'm not lying. The floor of my living room, and you've been to my house, was covered in Star Wars figurines and Legos.
God. Wow.
You could not, there wasn't an area where you couldn't step where you were stepping on a figurine or a Lego.
But you're the only child of 8 who had a heart attack. Like, honestly, you're probably, like, you couldn't feel your arm, right?
No.
You're probably just, like, going limp a little bit.
And my uncle bought me a Millennium Falcon. Where
like a Lego one? Or?
No, a figurine one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I've seen this.
You've seen it
I've
before.
seen
Yeah,
this.
it's cool, huh?
It is pretty cool.
Oh.
It is pretty cool. I like the Millennium Falcon.
So,
yeah.
That's
So you
why I
were
love
so
Star
you were
Wars.
you were the
I was
reason
raised with
why
Star Wars.
you were bought and paid for. So that's why.
Yeah, I was raised with Star Wars. Star Wars was always the thing, and also my grandma and me. My grandma was really she's not into anime, but she's really into art. And my grandma introduced me to Biggie Smalls, introduced me to Studio Ghibli, introduced me to Dragon Ball, and introduced me to Star Wars.
You know, look, Brian. I don't want to come off as someone who's not like you. We're alike. I grew up with Star Wars, you know. I grew up watching the prequels and everything. I went to see Revenge of the Sith the night it came out at the not the Hollywood Bowl, the Cinerama Dome on Sunset Boulevard. Okay, and it was a great night. I don't even remember how old I was. I think I was 8 when that happened.
Yeah.
And it was a magical night.
I think you would have been 8 or 9.
Around that age. And I was having the time of my life, right? It was a great night, and I love that memory, right? Yeah. That was Star Wars for me. But the thing is, Brian, I don't mean to sound arrogant, but upon rewatching them, those movies, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Those movies do have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
But they piss me off to no end. And I think what really pisses me off is your denial. You're in denial when it comes to Star Wars. Okay? Because the thing is, I don't see how you can hate these new films. But the prequels get a pass. I just want you to be consistent.
Okay.
I just want you to be consistent. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I want. You know, I've had these arguments with people about, like, say Anakin. I know a guy who's like, man, Anakin's my hero. I look up to Anakin. Anakin? You look up to Anakin? Child murderer? Anakin? I was like, yeah, but that was episode 3. No, that was episode 2 and on, homie. Killed the Tusken Raiders. Well, they don't count as kids. I've heard that shit. The Tusken Raiders don't count as children. The Tusken Raiders don't. They don't count as women or children. But
they're creatures.
They're things apparently.
They're aliens.
You wouldn't go that far, would you?
No, it's aliens. Like, come on, you gotta be consistent with the lore.
They're children.
Yeah.
Are they children or not?
Yeah, they are kids.
They're children and women.
He states that they're women and children. It's not like they age like Grogu, but Grogu's still a baby no matter how old he is.
They are innocents.
Yeah.
In a war started by the 1%ers in the galaxy. Would you say that?
Oh yeah, the whole thing is that the Jedi are corrupt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which they, by the way, bring back into Last Jedi, a movie you don't like, but they bring that up. So the thing I want to bring up, Brian, is where do we disagree? Okay. Like, where do we specifically disagree? Would you put down the Johnny Blazing sauce?
I like it so much. I made
it's so good.
I feel like drinking it. It's really good.
I'm going to dump you in it, and you will look like Anakin. You will. I hate you. So where do we disagree, Brian?
Well, I know we disagree with, I don't know if this is our major point, but I definitely disagree with you on how Rey is presented.
Rey, the character of Rey. Here, come to the mic.
Specifically with her scene with Kylo Ren in the first film.
In The Force Awakens.
Yeah, where she kicks his ass.
Okay.
It's not that it's a fair fight. It is literally Rey is given, in my opinion, is given so much power in the writing to the point where she could kick the ass of a trained assassin.
Okay.
Sith.
So where I would...
And that's my only real beef with the whole sequels. Is that they give her a little too much power to make scenes feel like it's not deserved or not well earned.
My response to that specific point, which is I think your main point of the sequels. Well, Kylo Ren, what just happened to Kylo Ren at that point?
Kylo Ren had just killed his father and was fighting Finn.
But also what happened?
Oh, he got shot by a crossbow from
Chewbacca, right?
Chewie.
He was shot in the kidney. He was weakened. He was engulfed by rage, which, as we know, especially in Star Wars, will determine how a fight goes, right? Because if you look at Revenge of the Sith with Anakin versus Obi-Wan, Anakin loses because of his rage, you know? And I think that's what they were trying to do with that fight.
But I would say, look at Luke. Rage allowed him to win. But
in what?
Against his father. He cut off his father's hand. But then he took a step back to calm down.
But also, I mean, it is very case by case with each one, because look at what can happen when your emotions guide you into a fight, right?
You can either win or lose.
You can either go down or go up, I guess. And Rey, even though I'll agree with you on some aspects, like for me the Force, what's it called? The mind trick, the Jedi mind trick.
Yeah,
that came out of nowhere for me. But because how did she know how to do that? That's something we could probably agree on. But with this, I think what they were trying to do was they were trying to give her that same kind of character arc that Luke had, in that she's trying to achieve that balance that Luke was trying to achieve, and it might come a bit more speedy to her.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's, well, for one thing, she's not Luke. She's a different character.
Yeah.
And also, we also saw that she knew how to fight, you know? We did see that earlier in the film.
And that's the thing. We disagree on the stylization of fighting. I agree that she understands how fighting movement works, but we even have evidence that knowing how to fight with a two-handed weapon is very different from a one-handed weapon. With one of the most strongest characters in the show and in the universe, Mando, with him almost cutting off his entire leg from using a lightsaber for the first time.
That came out after The Force Awakens.
I know, but we gotta put that into perspective.
I mean, well, the perspective is it came out after Force Awakens. They weren't thinking about that when they made Force Awakens.
I'm just saying that I think that involves in the sense of like they even explain like, oh, it's heavy because he's not in tune or understanding the feel of the blade, and that blade is actually made for people who are non-Force users.
I get that, but the thing is, you have more time to explain that type of nuance in a show than in a film. In a film, you have to set up, like for Rey, the reason at least I believe that she can take Kylo Ren in those very special circumstances, because she is a rookie, but that's why the circumstances were special, right? The reason I believe she can fight is because I saw that she could fight, earlier on, so that's cool with me. Like, I get that, right? Okay. That's set up. With Mandalorian, they get the chance. They already established he's a badass. He can fight already. He's a Mandalorian. You know what I mean? He's a bounty hunter. And they even take time to explain those parts.
Guns are his religion, just like mine.
Oh, you silly bastard. So, okay. So that's Rey.
That's my favorite line. If I would to get anything tattooed, like words.
Guns phrases, are my religion.
Guns are I would totally do that. Unironically, though.
And it would be Jesus on top of a velociraptor with AK-47s.
With Mando in the back.
Mando in the back giving a thumbs up. Yeah. Oh, God. See, this is another aspect that we disagree on.
I wouldn't have Mando. I would have Boba Fett on my chest.
Jesus. So now you just discredited yourself. Boba Fett over the Mandalorian? Come on.
No. Mando.
Come on,
Mando
dude.
Over Boba
Come
Fett.
on.
No, it's Mando over Boba Fett.
What did you just say?
No, I said
Boba Fett over Mandalorian.
No, you would have Boba Fett over Mandalorian as tattooed on your chest with Jesus and Umbrella.
That is literally a straw man. I did not say that at all. How dare you?
That.
No,
you said
I would never say. I would.
No, you said I would get a tattoo of Jesus.
And you think I would get Boba Fett?
And
You think I would get Boba Fett?
Yeah.
I don't. Why? Why do you think that?
I don't know.
Why? Because I'm older than you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I wasn't that much older than you, Brian. Oh my God. That's odd. No, I would get Mandalorian.
You would get Mando?
Of course.
Yeah, Mando's awesome.
Mando on top of the Venusaur or whatever the fuck it's called. What's that?
Are you talking about
the Mythosaur?
Yeah, the Mythosaur.
Yeah, with a
Dude,
Budweiser.
Dude, I would get Mando, actual Mando, like the first one, Mandalore the Great, riding on a Mythosaur with the Mythosaur with a Modelo in his hand, and like putting up the peace sign, and him say "What's up, homies?" as they're killing Jedi.
you get like the first verse from Freebird written under. I could see you doing that.
The toaster.
Yeah. So you like the prequels. What do you like about the prequels?
I like that it explains a little bit more on who Darth Vader is and his upbringing. I think that's wow. Because I can't say they're the greatest. They're really not.
In
the
terms
OGs,
of the greatest films.
All the films of Star Wars. But I do feel, in my opinion, try not to put nostalgia in it, which I think is such a lie because everyone has nostalgia
and
inherently.
That's you, me, everyone else when it comes to Star Wars.
I personally think in some areas they're a little bit more sound or face a lot more materials in their films, or they have more majority of the film make more sense and have more depth with characters than in the sequels.
The sequels meaning episode 7?
Yeah, 7 through 9. Okay. I feel like in 7 through 9 there's one, in my opinion, one good film. And that's Force Awakens.
Okay.
And with the prequels, I think that one is an okay film.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. Episode 1 is an okay film. Episode 2 is it's a film and barely that sometimes.
Okay.
And episode 3 is a great film.
Okay, even I'm trying to see. This is why I go to therapy. So I temper my reaction. Here, let me just go through my affirmations real quick. So, even though I disagree,
yeah, I know you
with
do.
what you just said,
He's fuming. He looks like Hellboy.
the horns. Yeah, exactly. I disagree.
I know you do.
I don't understand that at all. I respect the fact that you said that.
He's dying. He
the thing
doesn't
is,
want to say it.
This is not a joke.
Right
when I said this is not a joke. When I literally said that last part, I felt a little pain. I felt a little pain in my shoulder. No, I'm serious. That literally happened. I had a little tense thing in my shoulder.
Almost dying.
I'm almost dying about this prequel shit.
Oh my god. That was a good sauce.
You know what? Actually, a better name for you.
Yeah.
Not me, but for you.
Yeah. For the sauce.
Yeah. The Battle of the Heroes. Battle of Heroes, right?
Battle of Heroes.
That's the music that played on Mustafar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you know what?
I actually have all the original soundtracks.
High Ground.
On my High Ground. That's good.
High Ground.
Yeah.
High Ground sauce.
Mustafar River.
Yeah, exactly. I would call it the Modor refresher.
Modor. I actually have a
Mordor.
I
I'm
actually
sorry.
have a name working on right now. I won't say it because I want to make sure I get patent. But I'll tell you after.
Patent pen.
Yeah.
You will appear on Shark Tank.
Ooh. I will say it is, for reference, for people to know, it is cryptid theme.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Last point about Star Wars before we wrap it up. Before we talk about another quick thing.
Yeah.
That we talked about. Special editions of Star Wars. They piss me off.
I know.
What do they? What do you? I want to hear what
they don't piss me off as much, but they make me feel out of tune of the film
with Star Wars.
So I actually have the OG VHSs of all
the theatrical
4 through
cut?
6.
Okay.
No, like the OG VHS, like when it came out from like the. I think I have the OG.
It's probably
cut
the 90s?
of 5 and 6.
So
right?
the theatrical editions.
Yeah, and
right.
then 6, and then 4 maybe is like a remake or when it came out like in the early 2000s. But I have VHSs of them. Watching them is like, oh my god, this is cool. Watching the new
special editions.
the special editions.
Right.
It's not that they piss me off. It's more or less like
they piss me off.
It's more or less like sometimes they're like, but why is this necessary? Like, why do we have a whole dolly shot focus on this little robot who's just walking in the desert while we follow Luke and Obi-Wan? Like, I don't get that.
The what's it called? The musical number in Return of the Jedi.
All right, now here's the thing.
Jesus
the musical
Christ.
number in Return of the Jedi.
It was good.
It's not that it's good. It's funny. And here's the thing.
No, it's not.
It is
Brian.
hilarious. Dude, when you're watching it and you're
not-
up in that scene, you're like, oh, guess what's coming? Moto. Wow.
Yeah, you see his tonsils. Great. The biggest waste of $1 million I've ever seen. Jedi rocks. I feel castrated at that point. I feel like I need a shower.
Funny? I feel like Boba Fett. I don't know if you see in the movie, but you know how he looks at it and he's just like this. You're like, He's like, what is this?
Yeah, no, he's literally like, what did they do?
Yeah, he crosses his arm. He's like, I don't want to be in this somewhere. Someone better kill me.
Kill me, Han. Hey, you know what? Let him out of the freezer real quick.
Freezer.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, so I didn't even think about the third film. But no, episode 4.
I think that's where it's the most offensive.
I think it's so horrible. I think it doesn't ruin the film for me, but I think it ruins a lot of like
what the special edition, the
like
features
the special
and
edition
stuff.
features.
Han shooting first. I mean, or Greedo, them shooting at the same time.
I hate that and then they move his neck. First off, it's so weird when they move his neck.
Yeah, it's awful.
Bring this up real quick.
Awful.
I want someone to explain to me why the fuck do I care who shot first? Han kills Greedo. That's it.
That's all you need.
That's all I need to know. Like they're like, who shot first? That doesn't matter. It's not like Greedo shot him and the bullet went through his head and then he shot Greedo and then Greedo died. Like then I'd be like, maybe you should fix that. It just also, first of all, people should know guns miss. So like obviously Greedo could be like, and also who's gonna understand? First off, yeah, who in the how in the world is gonna have a gun like this and think, yeah, I'll hit my target? How?
Okay, you do understand this is audio, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so here's the thing, okay? Han shoots only because he is a scoundrel.
Yeah.
He is a badass. He is not taking shit from anybody.
Yeah.
That's why he shoots only. To have Greedo shoot first and it be self-defense is the biggest... it's literally the opposite of what you do with the character of Han Solo in the first film he's introduced in. It deflates what he is, you know?
Yeah.
It's awful. I hate it. I hate it.
See,
I
have
hate
a
it.
reason. I'm just like, why is this even being argued? I'm like,
Yeah,
why
I mean-
is this a point? Like, why is this a big thing?
And what pisses me off, okay, is when I saw with Indiana Jones 4, the behind the scenes, George Lucas was on set, and do you know what he was wearing as
What?
his T-shirt? He was wearing a T-shirt of Han Solo.
Greedo shot first?
No, it was a T-shirt of Han Solo, a cartoon Han Solo.
Getting
and
shot?
it was him pointing his gun at you, and it said Han shot first. You son of a bitch. You arrogant son of a bitch, George Lucas. God damn it. You deserve bankruptcy for that. I hope your museum gets messed up by the earthquake.
I like George Lucas. The only thing I hate about him is strange magic. He should have
Jar Jar is the
died,
key to this.
from
Jar
strange magic?
Jar.
No.
Jar Jar
Julius,
Binks.
you understand, when you see
Watto.
fairies and trolls...
Are you telling me Watto's not a fairy troll
Leave me
mix?
alone.
A hybrid?
Leave me alone. When you see fairies and trolls literally do a musical number, you give up on life.
Brian, no, you expect that from the guy who gave you Jar Jar Binks, okay? Another thing I don't understand about the love for the prequels is that they're clearly, like, they're racist. It's just racist shit. I mean, come on, Brian.
Okay. I'll admit.
The Nemoidians.
I'll admit. Nothing, because they're for different...
Brian,
No.
who are they supposed to be? The Nemoidians.
Who do you think they're supposed to be?
No, who do you think they're supposed to be?
Who do you think they're supposed
Cuts
to be?
the clips right here.
I want to hear it right now.
No, you're not going to get... Because here's the
You're
thing.
not going to get me to the... You want to finish that statement, Julius?
Brian, if I do the voice of the Nemoidians, I will be canceled. I will be canceled.
Sebastian will hate you, and the world would respect you.
Brian, if I get canceled by doing the Nemoidian voice,
Yeah.
it's proof of what I'm saying. It is proof of what I'm saying that those films, like, what the fuck? What is this shit? The Nemoidians, Watto, Jar Jar, who else am I? The Jawas. The Sand People.
Jawas?
Literally, they're called Sand People.
The Jawas don't have an accent, though. They don't even talk. They're just like...
Yeah.
They're just like... You know,
The Tusken Raiders.
the Tuscans are cool.
What do they call them in the first film?
Don't they call them...
They called them the Sand People.
Yeah, sand people.
Brian, come on. I'm not trying to be woke or anything.
live
I'm
in
not
the
trying to
sand.
be canceled or
They
anything.
live in the sand. What do you want me to call them? The mountain people? They live in the fucking mountain.
You know who else lives in the sand?
Yeah, who
You
lives
sick
in the
bastard,
sand? Who
Brian.
lives in the sand?
Brian, this
People
is
live in the sand.
Brian. You're being
They
disingenuous
could have
right
been
now.
like nomadic. I will say the racial standards of that type of stuff is more prevalent in the prequels than it is in the OG film. But to be honest, I get it. But I'd
Get what?
rather
What do you
have
get?
aliens like have unique voices.
But that's not unique, though. That's not unique.
Than,
That's
like,
just
being English
stereotyping,
or-
bro.
I know. So a lot of it does come out of stereotypes. But when you watch Clone Wars, the animated series, then you understand that it's pretty
You
good.
understand? You understand the
It's pretty
biology
good.
of a what's the Jar Jar called? A Gungan.
The
You
Gungan.
understand the
What's a
Gungan
Gungan
physiology. You understand that they have 3 stomachs instead of 1, like us mere humans. Us mere humans.
I never said that. I said, on the record, Gungans can produce a saliva that lets them breathe underwater.
God damn it, Brian. That's why we have to end this episode right now. Jesus. Brian, do you have any last opinions, last statements, true or false, that you'd like to make regarding Star Wars, anything else we talked about?
Of course. I really wish Star Killer was canon. I think that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it is.
No.
Star
Force
Killer
Unleashed.
based. Starkiller Bays.
Kill yourself, actually. Like, shut up. We're not counting that. That is.
That's canon.
I know it is, and it shouldn't be. Star Wars lore. I also wish Darth Revan would have been shown up in the Clone Wars animation. Even though I do like, I know you haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna spoil it. I do like the other person who does show up.
Yeah.
Who you won't get it.
It's Darth Bane, isn't it?
Oh, okay, yeah. Darth Bane voiced by Mark Hamill.
Oh, was it Mark Hamill
Yeah.
who did the voice?
Mark Hamill does the voice for Darth Bane.
He's breaking canon, bitch.
And it's really cool.
Yeah. So George Lucas had it all planned. The proof of that is with the sexy time of Luke and Leia. Oh my God. Luke and Leia, yay or nay?
In between.
Yay.
Here's the thing. The reason why I say this. Oh, wait. Oh, my God. I thought you said
You sick bastard.
No.
You sick bastard.
No, sorry.
You are done. Fine. Hey, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for coming on, brother.
I was thinking about Anakin and Leia. But no, Luke.
You are what?
All right. Oh, actually.
I'm lightheaded.
No, let me finish. Let me speak.
You let Luke finish with Leia. It's
Here's
disgusting.
The thing. Obviously, it feels like the one, that whole brother-sister thing obviously comes from the third film. It feels like the second and the first film, it feels like they're referencing that they might be a couple, especially at the end. I don't know.
Okay. Another episode.
Right.
We're not going there right now.
What I'll say is this. Luke and Leia,
awesome.
Since they're brother and sister, no. But if they didn't do it, I would say yeah. If they weren't brother or sister, I would honestly say yeah, I guess.
Okay. All right.
Han
Brian,
and Leia, I'm not a big fan.
Stop. You're killing me.
Kylo Ren
You're killing
and
me.
Rey, no. Why is that a thing?
Okay,
I thought that was gonna be Finn and Rey.
Okay, we can agree on that.
Or at least
we have to end it. You have to get out of here, Brian. We have to get out of here, Brian. Brian, I'm lightheaded.
Anakin.
I feel like I just lived through the prequels. You
Padme is pretty good. Only in the Clone Wars.
You shammed me through the prequels again. Do you understand?
I did.
Again.
I did.
Okay.
It was good.
Again.
It was really good.
You hear that beep from my watch? It's time. It's time. Brian, thank you so much for joining me on.
Thank you so much for having me
what
on
is this shit called? We Tolerate Comics.
No.
Kingdom Hearts 2 Final.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
All right, Brian. Is there any place that they can find you? The people? Do you want to be found?
Yes, actually, I have a little side, little plug if I can.
Sure, let's do it.
All right, cool. You can find me at The Real Brian M. Curiel on Instagram. You can also find me on my band's Instagram at the Cryptids / hyphenated Skinwalkers. And here's a little plug. Get ready for October the 15th because me and my band will be doing our first debut live performance. Also, ironically, on my birthday.
Who brought up the birthday this time?
Check out
the check out the brain on.
Also,
brain
another
on
thing
Brian.
is if our band gets more prepped within these next coming weeks, we actually might have.
What are you doing with your? I'm sorry. What's he doing with this? He's doing this James Spader like head tilt, like he's like, you hear me, motherfucker? You hear me? I was like, what?
But
he's literally looking. I mean, you can't see this, but he was like tilting his head, like it was literally. Speaking of Star Wars and Family Guy, when they did
Family Guy, yeah, he's like, it wants to be operational.
I'm afraid the Death Star will be fully operational. That's what Brian just did.
Yeah, look for in Los Angeles area October the 15th for our first show, and we actually might be having another show prior on October the 1st. We'll see if my band is ready, but most likely we have a set in date for October the 15th. Come by. It is $5 online for Venmo prior to the show, $10 at the door. Thank you very much, everyone.
Where is it? Did you mention where it is?
We don't know the venue yet. It will either be in my backyard or
message me at the Real Brian Curiel.
Yeah, message me. We're sending in the date this week. And the place.
This is how John Lennon got shot.
But yeah, thank you everyone. I appreciate it, and thank you, Julius, for having me on the podcast.
Of course,
I
Brian.
love being on the discussion.
Of course, Brian. I'll have you on again soon, once you have an update on your show, we'll talk about it then.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you coming in.
You better play.
Oh no, I will play. And
okay, cool.
But the thing is, Brian, even though we disagree on everything we disagree on, actually, even though you're just wrong, I love you, Brian.
Even though you're just old.
Even though I'm
you boomer.
I'm wise.
Shut up,
Brian. I appreciate you coming in.
Wise for the sequel.
Brian.
Don't kill my nephew. Evil.
I sense the darkness in your future, and I will be above your bed tonight, like Luke in Last Jedi.
Nice.
And we'll see if I have that moment of realization.
I shoot you.
I will swing. I will swing. I will just be like,
even
fuck
after
it.
the realization, like, fuck it.
You know what?
Take it.
Worth it. No, but Brian, no, I appreciate you coming in, taking your licks and everything, which I think is what Luke told Leia, and I can't wait to have you on again. You'll be on again with Sebastian at some point.
I'm excited, dude. This is gonna be fun.
Dawn of capitalist justice.
Oh my god! Please don't. If that's the title, I'm not coming.
Brian, thank you so much again, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one. Stay safe, and goodbye.